Today, folks, I got a real treat. Robb Quinn, founder of the sales agency, is with me today in the studio. What's up, Robb?
What's going on, Brad? Thanks for having me, man.
My pleasure, and it's going to be everyone else's pleasure because this dude speaks my language. This dude basically has what I think is the answer to everybody's problems, and that is the ability to start, grow, and develop sales teams, even if done for you. Founder of the sales agencies. Says here, sales and team leadership has been a major staple in Robb's life journey, leading to the birth of the sales agency, his company, back in 2017, all the way from leading his fellowship of Christian athletes and DECA clubs in high school to getting nominated Best Personal Trainer in the Northland of Missouri at 19 years old, to going pro as a physique athlete at 24, and achieving 5 president clubs in sales between the ages of 20 and 25, selling vacuums, I've done that. Gym memberships, I've done that. Digital marketing, all before basically starting the sales agency. Because I think you probably recognize what I see, and that's very few people have the ability to hire, train, develop, and manage a kick-ass sales team, let alone scale one.
Correct. Yeah, we see a lot of phases, man. And, it's everything from, hey, let me get into business, make some money, whether it's online or offline. And they realize, man, I got to get out of sales. So they hire a sales team. Maybe it's their friend at first, something like that. And they realize, wow, I got to scale this thing. And they realize when they start to bring on more people, like, crap, I got to manage people. I got to understand people. And then they realize their IQ, which is their skill set that got them in the first place, isn't going to scale a team. They need EQ, which is like an entirely new set of skills to develop. It takes time.
Well, let's explain that. Before they do, though, folks, if you guys want to follow this dude, at Robb Quinn 3, 2 B's, 2 N's, Robb Quinn 3 on social media. You can also find him at thesalesagency.com. If you're a company that wants to learn how to do this or have it done for you, this is your man. Go follow him. Make sure you tell him you came from the bomb squad. So IQ, not EQ. What's the difference?
Yeah, IQ's the skill sets you develop over time. So some people are great at operations. Some people are great at sales. Some people are great at marketing. So these are the skills they've developed that got them into business in the first place, right? People realize, hey, man, I love graphic design. They be a graphic designer. They realize, hey, man, I love, flipping houses. They go flip houses before they build a team. They're like, I love sales. They can close anybody on anything because they're like a sales pro. And then they realize that's just a skill set that made them some money. And they realize in order to remove themselves, to make a lot of money, to grow a company, and to make other people a lot of money with them, they have to learn how to manage those people. And it's not like a machine, right? It's not like a computer that's already pre-built to do a certain thing and it's going to do that thing. A computer doesn't have emotions. It doesn't get sick. It doesn't have family. It doesn't have new priorities it develops from external influence around them. So this is the EQ. This is a new skill set you develop to talk to people, communicate with people, help them through the next level of themselves, creating a better version. And we notice those are the obstacles in building a team.
So number one, you need EQ, not IQ.
Correct.
To be able to talk to people. This is very similar to sales.
Yeah, this is sales.
So do you train their team, or do you train their team and then leave them behind, or do you provide the team, or both?
Man, that's a great question. It's going to depend on the resistance in the team. A lot of time when we come in and we help the sales managers come in and develop a better structure, the things we see the most resistance with outside of communication and challenging them to become a higher version of themselves, more successful, is a struggle with organization, more team meetings, understanding the purpose behind team meetings, understanding how just because you're great doesn't mean you're the best. Some people believe that they're the God's gift to the world because they're the best on that team, and they don't understand there's a bigger picture out there. They can't see beyond being the best on that team, so they see themselves at the top of the mountain. So breaking through these psychological barriers as a sales manager with your sales team, that's usually the resistance that we have working with some teams. If that's the case, then yeah, we either come in and do it for them or we staff them.
Either one.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs following me. I believe there's 4 skill sets. I call them kill sets.
I like that.
That if people can need, they're going to kill it in life. They're going to kill their business. And when I say kill, I mean kill it. It's a good thing. It's a, crush, So those skill sets, which I call kill sets, are number 1, sales, closing, and persuasion. Mm-hmm. Number 2, personal branding. Mm-hmm. Number 3, not in any particular order, marketing. And then number 4, social media. Do you teach any of those?
We do. We help a lot of people with the marketing side of things. A lot of companies struggle with predictable inflow. So we'll help them set up a really simple system. We're not the type of company, if you want to go to build out chat bots and all these crazy, I'm a sales guy, man, that just learned how to build a sales team and build a sales company, right? So I need simple. We're going to show you how to build simple.
So you were a best personal trainer back in Missouri, getting all buff.
Back in the day, yeah.
And you sold vacuums.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun time.
Rainbow Heritage 2.
Oh, no, man, Kirby. No, Kirby vacuums. We went against Rainbow.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want a Rainbow. That puts humidity out in the air, and if you fart, what's going to happen? It's make the air smell worse, man. You don't want that.
I sold Kirby.
Oh, you did? Okay, there you go.
I sold Kirby Rainbow Heritage 2s. I thought they were the same one, though. It was a long time ago.
Different company, but
Door to door.
Yep.
But now you're focusing more digitally.
We are, yeah. I mean, my career is all brick and mortar, like you're saying there, door to door, person to person, and it's a little limiting to do it that way. I mean, you're capped out based on how many people you can contact in that way versus the internet, where we could have a huge net of people come in at once. It's easy to multiply your efforts. It's easier to scale that way. And again, the only real problem is when you have predictable inflow is, can you actually build a team fast enough to keep up with that inflow?
What about leads, though? Because you have a big team, no one to talk to. Are these guys prospecting, or are these guys taking leads, provided leads?
Yeah, well, so you have your inflow with the marketing, right? Maybe you run marketing and ads online, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Our biggest play is to create a distribution with teams and companies, which is a list. And we don't just collect emails, because a lot of people believe they could just rely on email automations, which is, in my definition, a cop-out to growing a team with high margins. So we focus on phone numbers. Our team, we dial. This is old school. We dial, we create custom scripts for each company based on the industry and the offer. And we're coming in and we're able to get people on the phone. We know that the initial sale is selling people on the appointment, not selling the product or service. That's a sales guy's job, right? So we can come in and make sure that you're able to get more meetings on the calendar that are qualified. And from there, you can focus on the actual sales itself. But the first sale is getting them on the call.
You can also get more money for a product.
Way more money for a product, to the conversation.
Yeah, because for about the last 21 years, I've helped a lot of the coaches and consultants and subject matter experts sell their courses online. Mm-hmm. Digitally, which is more of an automation type sell, you're not going to get much more than $1,200.
Right.
And you better have a pretty good brand and some social credibility to get that. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're trying to sell a $67 course, it's hard enough, you know, if you don't have a brand. $67. But when you're talking about, you know, $7,000, $12,000, $25,000 course, you're not selling it automatically. There is no funnel or email automation that's going to do that effectively. Yep. You need someone to close that deal.
Yep.
I get a lot of clients in here that think they're going to get a LightSpeed system. They're just going to make millions of dollars by placing ads. Well, I can get you quite a bit of dough placing ads, but you have to have an entry-level product that then, you know, it leads to a value ladder.
Yep.
Which has the different tiers. And once it gets to a certain level, dude, I've never seen a successful automated sales process. It's always been someone on the phone, someone closing the deal once you get past a certain number.
Yep. And dude, I love the process you just said there. Ours is even more simple than that. We just want to collect a phone number. But when people run liquidation offers, like what you just explained, we love going in and calling those initial sales, what we refer to as tripwires, because they're already familiar with who you are. They got their credit card out. All we have to do is get them on the call if they didn't book one.
Yeah. So what you're doing is, well, what those are generated leads, paid leads.
We call them buyer leads. Yeah.
Viral.
So what's that?
What'd you call them?
We call them buyer leads.
Oh, buyer leads.
So people that have already bought from you at one point in time.
You find those are the best?
Oh, we love those. Yeah. I mean, we'll call opt-ins of people that maybe opted in for like a case study. Those are called case study funnels, right? Your typical automated booking funnel where it books right with the sales rep. We like to just do one thing, add a phone number on the front end of that. So name, phone number, email, in order to get that case study. Our team will go in and just call all those leads. So here's how we see it. And this is why we love this part of the game, is because similar to debt collecting companies, right? Companies that have a lot of delinquent accounts with, people they've sold to, they sell that out, right? For pennies on the dollar to a debt collecting company. We see this as the same thing. A lot of people have a ton of leads in their pipeline, names, phone numbers, emails, and they just let them sit there, right? Their team doesn't know how to get them on the phone. Their team burns the leads or they sit there. Those are usually what happens. So we go in, we're able to calculate how much money is sitting in the pipeline based on the offer, like the price point, and then our conversion rate of getting a hold of people and getting them on the phone. We can calculate how much money is sitting there. So people hire us to come in and pull that money out for them and then pay us a percentage of it. It's easy.
Well, it's found money.
It's found money. And guess what? It doesn't cost them anything extra.
So you don't charge anything up front?
They pay us when we make the money.
Damn.
Similar like a debt collecting company.
Dude, your phone's going to blow up. Everybody listening to this is going to be like, zero money out of pocket. You just take a piece of what you basically make me.
Yep. And
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and it's easy for us, especially if you have a good offer. If you have a good offer and you got money sitting there, this is the easiest way to decrease your CPA.
Do you help people make offers?
We do.
If their offer's weak.
That's going to be a tough deal. It's really selective when we come in and work with clients like that. But if we see that they're able to make a lot of money right now without a good offer, and we know that that's going to speed things up dramatically, we will absolutely come in and make adjustments to it. For us, we're looking for certain things in an offer, right? Do you, first of all, have one? Secondly, what's the promise? What's the timeline? And what's the risk mitigation? Those are the 4 things we look for in an offer. If all of those are really strong, then it's going to be easy for us to get these people on the phone. We know we can help you increase the close rates. So we do look for a handful of things, but those are the 4 things in an offer we like to see.
Promise, timeline,
risk mitigation.
That's 3.
Well, the first one's actually having an offer. So what is it that you deliver? What's the promise behind the deliverables?
Everybody has an offer.
I would hope so.
The question is it good or bad?
Right. Yeah.
So what's the promise? What kind of promise are you looking for?
It needs to be pretty bold. That shows us either you're really aggressive with your acquisition.
Give me an example of a bold promise.
Like our offer. Hire us. We'll show you how much money is in your pipeline, and it will always make you more money than your ads would, or will always make you more money without you spending any. Like, that's a really strong promise.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have your timeline. How long is it going to take for you to deliver on the promise? In month 1, there's no ramp up. That's the difference with ads and working with us. We'll come in and show you that money out of the gate within the first 30 days of onboarding. Really strong promise.
Yeah.
Really strong timeline. And the risk mitigation is if we don't make you more money, if you have us manage your team, then you pay us, which we charge such a minimal amount to manage a team. It's almost hilarious. Then we'll cut you a check for the difference. You'll never lose money. You'll never spend money you weren't going to spend initially, and we'll do it within 30 days or less.
Dang.
That's a really strong offer.
Damn, dude, your phone's going to blow up. By the way, if you want people to call you rather than visit you, where do people reach you? How do people reach you that are listening to this?
Yeah, so you already dropped my handle, right? You guys could look me up, Robb Quinn 3. Look at our website, thesalesagency.com. I would stick to that.
You don't want your phone blowing up?
If you want to call my phone, our system will probably answer, but that's, you could, we'll just go to the website. Yeah, that'll be good.
So
our number will be on the website. You can check that out there.
So you're really looking for mainly people that want to sell something online, like info products, courses, subject matter experts, skill set training, safety training, any kind of training.
Or any service. Correct.
Any service. Yeah. So like what? Like, let's say I'm a home restoration company.
Yep. Good. Well, preferably online, service online, like digital marketing agencies. We work with financial advisors,
social media agencies,
relationship coaches, debt collectors that want to work with agencies to collect on their debt.
What about the debt collectors that ring my phone and scare my wife when I'm not home?
So we don't advise them on what to do. We're not a part of the legalities, but we're all about connecting people to more prospects.
Well, I was going to do that, but I got a bum education, double-digit inflation, can't take a train to the job. There's a strike at the station.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm referring to, do you?
No. I'm just smiling, nod.
How old are you?
29.
That's why. Yeah. It's the Sugar Hill gang, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now educate me.
Bill collectors, they ring my phone, scare my wife when I'm not home. I got a bum education, double-digit inflation, can't take a train to the job. There's a strike at the station.
I mean, it's catchy. I won't forget it.
It's Sugar Hill gang, dog. When you leave here, look up Rapper's Delight.
Rapper's Delight.
Yeah, and listen to it.
That might get more views now than people looking at my own handle.
Go to YouTube, look up Rapper's Delight. So let's say there's a company. They're listening to this. They fit the mold. and they want to do it themselves. Like, let's
Mhm.
give them some value where, hey, they don't even have to call you. Like, what's step one that they should do?
Yeah, first thing to do is look at their pipeline and look at how many numbers are in there.
What if they don't have any?
Then they need to reflect on their marketing.
Can they just buy lists?
The problem with buying lists is they're so cold. It's going to take, this is why cold calling has a stigma of not working. When people buy a list, it's really difficult to get those people on the phone. And if they do, it's like cold email where they don't know you at all, right? So the sales cycle is longer. And what's difficult is most sales teams struggle with follow-up because most of their calls are from automated booked calls. So because they suck at follow-up usually, and it's a cold lead, the conversion is so low, it seems wasteful.
Yeah.
Right. So we prefer not to work with cold leads. And if you're not currently building a list of names, phone numbers, and emails, you need to look at the distribution, right? Are you looking at your business long-term? Similar to like, I can't remember where I heard this, but like the cartel, right? The cartel doesn't sell the drugs on the street. The cartel sells to the dealers that sell on the street, right? So if you want to build a distribution where you know you're not always going to have one product forever, then you need to have other people to sell to. You know you're going to have a congruent offer in the future, upsells, downsells. You should have that list built out. And it doesn't cost you any money to have someone go in and call those leads you paid for months ago. So if you're not looking at your business in that way, you really need to reflect on, am I looking at my business long term? Am I really focusing on margins? So would be my suggestion.
So let's pretend I do have a bunch of phone numbers. I take a look at them,
Mhm.
and then what?
Look at just the ratio of if you were to book 10% of them, right? If you were to book 10% of these people with an average 70% show rate, and your product is made, well, let's say 10 grand, right? Calculate that out. So if you have 1,000 phone numbers, you get 10% of those people on the phone. That's 100, right? We can do that math. Let's say 70% show up. That's a pretty realistic show rate. So now you have 70 people show up. You got a $10,000 product, right? Let's say your close rate is mediocre, 20%, right? On this $10,000 offer. So 20% on 70 is 140 or 14, right? So you got 14 people that are going to close. You charge 10 grand, right? So you're going to take 14 times 10,000, which is what, 140,000 if I do my math right. So this is just assuming you're mediocre at everything. There's 140 grand sitting in your pipeline right now.
And you can come mine it for them.
We'll come mine it for you.
Or teach them how to mine it themselves.
Or teach them how to mine it themselves.
Get them a staff of people trained and capable of doing so.
Yeah. And oh man, I'm telling you, when people do this, they love it because we're in this world right now of hire really cheap assist, like really cheap VA or something like that. And the scripts are all like copy and paste, and there's really low conversion on getting to a call. And when they do get on a call, they're unqualified or they don't show up, and it's a mess. So that's why we come in and customize this stuff to make them more qualified. Make sure it's like a legitimate conversation, not copy and paste, and it's specific to you. That's why the conversion's higher. That's why the quality's higher. We focus on what makes a quality prospect for you. We add that into the script. So you don't run into these problems. You're not burning leads. You're not having a bad reflection on your brand because you're contacting your leads and look amateur. It's usually what's happening in the market.
Okay, so look at I call it a database or a list. Look at my list, do the math, so you figure out, damn, dude, there might be $2 million sitting there. Mm-hmm. Step 3.
Step 3 is reverse engineering your numbers, knowing what they are, which is what you just said, and then getting them on the phone, calling them, doing the action.
Now, that seems a little too easy, doesn't it?
It is. And here's the thing. I said this before already. I'm a sales guy, man, that learned how to build a sales company. I need simple. That's how I run things. Even my marketing. If you guys want to go funnel hack us or whatever you call it, you're going to notice we've branded something called a don't book a call with us funnel. You can't book a call with us on our funnel. You go through name, phone number, email, download a case study, thank you page. And it says, we'll call you if you qualify. We're so good at this outbound. We don't even let people book up with us. We call them. I'm simple, dude. I'm a sales guy. Learn how to build a sales company.
Don't book a call with us.
Mm-hmm. Now, what this does is people are like, yo, that sounds ridiculous. Here's the framing. Whenever you call somebody up, they're more likely to show up. Here's the alternative. If you do an automated funnel, most people's show rates are between 40 and 60%. If you have a sales rep who wants a quote unquote full calendar, just because they have all the sales calls on there, if the show rate's lower, it's going to piss them off. Because now they're showing up, they're getting in their head, and they're like, yo, these people aren't going to show up anyway. Sometimes they don't even get on the call because they're like, they probably won't show up. Their headspace is messed up. So what if you ran ads and you had somebody call the leads instead of them auto booking? You had more people showing up. Maybe it's an extra step, yes.
Do you let these people know we will call you?
Yeah. That's in we have a little thing, a little video called a VSL.
And then you do the takeaway, which is we might call you if you qualify.
If you qualify.
Well, how do you know if they qualify with just name, address, and phone number?
We call them up and ask them questions. If they don't fill out an
So
application,
we're going
to call them regardless. I love the game, man. As I was saying, we'll get our guys on the phone. They smile, they dial, they make money, and people show up. The sales reps are happy.
Do you have them on a script?
Oh, absolutely.
What's the script?
Let's
Let's say I drop my name, address, and phone number.
So we'll call up and say,
let's role play. I'm one of the dudes that because again, dude, I got 500 clients that could use your services minimum. We could technically use your services. We've never really marketed LightSpeed, but we're about to start. I want to start just crushing the world.
That's sexy.
Up until now, it's just been word of mouth referrals. I've been building the systems and the processes because, dude, I don't want to scale chaos. And I don't want to implode on ourselves by getting just a bunch of pissed off customers saying, dude, they didn't do what they said they were going to do. I hate that. Like, I want people going, dude, LightSpeed is the best. They do everything they said and then some. So I've always been like, we got enough business. I don't really want to market yet because, dude, I don't have the people, the personnel, the processes, the systems, or I didn't. And so, and I'm a control freak. I want to make sure my customers are in love with us. So it's almost like I had to go and do every single position and document every single thing. That way, when I plug someone in, they know exactly what to do based on what I would do. So it's like, how do you scale you? Well, sometimes you have to roll up your sleeves, do the job yourself, document what it is you were doing. So now I can take somebody off the street and say, this is exactly what you say. This is exactly what you do in all these instances. And you're not always going to find, the equivalent of you, but you're going to be a lot closer.
I respect that. That's a really good way to look at business, for sure.
But we're set now. So, dude, I could use you. So pretend I dropped in my name.
Don't tease me with a good time, Brad.
Let's pretend. Okay, go ahead. You're the sales guy. I left my name. Go ahead. Okay.
Cool. So I ring you up. Hey, Brad, what's up, man? This is, or we'll say Jeff. Like, hey, Jeff, what's up, man? This is Rob from Brad's team. How you doing, man?
Good. No. I want you to be from your company.
Oh, for my company. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
try to sell me your services.
Okay, cool. I would say my name's Rob, and then
say, hey, Brad, what's up? I saw you put your name in this deal.
Yeah, there's two Robs. Hey, Brad, what's up, man? This is Rob from the sales agency. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Doing awesome, dude. So I noticed that I saw your application that you submitted. You were interested in like building a sales team. Remember that?
I am.
Oh, cool. You remember that with a sales agency though, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, I just wanted to see if you qualify for booking that appointment that I noticed that you were looking to book. Are you still down for that?
Yeah, but now's not a good time.
That's cool, man. It's usually not, and it probably never will be. So I got 3 questions. You good real quick?
Yeah.
30 seconds? All right, cool. So do you have, so we're going to go over your initial offer. Like, do you have a product right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. What's the price point on that?
30,000, 60,000, and 90,000.
Woo. Okay, I like that. Okay, so have you already solved this? Like, have you already found somebody to do this for you?
Do what?
To be able to build a sales team around that.
No, that's why I put my name in.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. How soon were you trying to put something in place for this?
Yesterday.
Okay. All right, well, let's get this booked right now. I got a few times on the calendar. What time works for you tomorrow?
2:00. I got time now.
Okay, cool. I'm going to connect you with one of our guys that's open right now. Can you give me a sec and I'll shoot you over to him?
Yeah, so do you do a liner closer, appointment setter / salesman?
So the reason we refer to it as assembly line model. The reason we do that is because when you do a hybrid where the sales rep is setting and closing and, God forbid, managing accounts, they're trying to be really good at too many things and they're context switching, so they get in their own head if one thing doesn't work. So then it affects their closing percentage if they can't book calls that day. Or they have a client that's maybe a little disgruntled, then it messes with their closing percentage. So we don't like people to do all 3. We let people focus on their area of genius and they don't context switch. They stay in a flow state. Nice. So what I just did right now, whenever I talk to you, and everyone listening to this are going to be like, yo, that was way too fast. That probably wouldn't work. We want our sales guys to be sales guys. And this is what's the stigma in the market is like, I want people to show up, wallet out, ready to buy. Like, dude, that's not the game if you want to make a lot of money and like with really high margins. And that's the problem with people's ads. That's why it costs so much for them to book that type of call. So we let our sales guys be sales guys. I already got the information I need. You got a problem I'm trying to solve. The price point's fantastic. You've been running this long enough, so I know that you've been in business a while based on your confidence when you spoke to me.
And if my answers weren't right, you wouldn't even have put me in front of a salesperson.
Wouldn't have put you in front of them. I would have recommended you to a different thing that we have online. So you can go check that out, either buy a lower ticket course or just check out the free content. But I wouldn't have booked you.
Right on. That's why your conversions are higher also.
Yep.
And then, okay, so now you're the sales guy. I'm on the call. What's up, dude?
Yeah, man. So, dude, I noticed that you talked to Rob over there on the last call. What attracted you to want to get on the call with me today?
I just need to build out a sales team, dude.
Rocking, man. So I just want to go through a few different questions to make sure that this is the right fit for you. You still got 30 minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool, man. And then what I'm going to do here, because this is going to be different for everyone, we run through a checklist, right? So we have a checklist on what makes an ideal client. We run through each of those things. And I got this from door to door, by the way, because I've been in a handful of industries. So if you guys are building out a sales script, imagine somebody coming into your house and trying to fix your foundation. They come in with a clipboard, right? And the first thing you're going to do is start walking around the house and checking things off, right? Your sales script should be built that way. So I'm going to give you this scenario. All right, cool. So Brad, man, can you walk me through your offer real quick? I did a little homework. I noticed that you guys do a handful of different things. How would you describe your offer?
Well, again, our offer is, we can give you the technology, the platform, the production, the skill sets, the know-how to create and produce a world-class training system. And then we show you exactly how to market it and make yourself, 50 to 100,000 a month plus. And depending on obviously how much curriculum you have would determine what package we offer. All right. We have 3 packages, 30, 60, or 90,000.
Okay. That's sexy. And that was going to be my next question, man. That's too hot. What are you selling it for? But now you answer that question. So that's great. How long have you been in business?
21 years.
Rocking. And have you already tried to build a sales team?
I mean, I have a sales team. I just haven't tried to scale it.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And what have you tried so far? What's worked? So without us going through the whole script, what I'm doing is going through a checklist. I want to know, have you done it? How long have you done it? What's been the problems? I'm going through a handful of different things that allows me to know where you're currently at. So without using salesy questions.
Identifying my pain points.
Exactly. But we're not doing it the old school way of saying, how does that affect your business? How's that affecting you at home? Like these are the salesy questions where people can feel it right away. And they're like, I don't like this. They're like turned off. Right. So
how's that working out for you?
Exactly. Because everyone asks those, right? So if we have this information, high ticket buyers feel the pain when they talk about it out loud, right? So they're feeling all this themselves as they talk about it. We're like, dang, man, I hear you. That sounds rough. And they're like, yeah, dude. And they can feel it, right? So it's more conversational when you go through a checklist. They don't even know it's a sales call. It feels like an audit. That's why we call these sales audits. So towards the end of it is when are we going to close? And we do close a little harder sometimes if we need to, but usually we won't have to. And we give them alternate choice closes. We say, all right, Brad, awesome, man. So this seems like we'd be able to help you out. In that case, would you like to go over next steps or you want some advice? What would you like to do from here?
Yeah. Let's like, what are your services?
Cool. Rock and roll. So we got 3 different options. We got a 12-month at 30,000, 6-month at 15,000, and a 3-month at 12,000. Which one are you leaning into, man?
What do I get for that?
It's a great. So you would already know that, by the way, earlier, because we've already gone through diagnosis, offer before we've gone into like actually collection. This is the collection phase of the call.
So, and I can see why and how that works. So if I'm a guru and I'm out there selling coaching, consulting courses, whatever, high ticket courses or whatever, you just come in and do the same thing, but related to me and my things and what problems I solve, et cetera, et cetera. You just kind of take that template and just modify it for the customer and boom, it starts working.
Exactly. And this allows your prospect to sell themselves. So in this scenario, if I'm like, which one are you leaning into? I'm not saying, do you want to do it or do you not? You're going to tell me which one you're leaning into. It's a hypothetical world. When people hear hypotheticals, it's like Fugazi. It's not real. It's easier for them to answer something because it doesn't feel intrusive. So like, man, I think I'd be leaning towards the 12-month because it seems cheaper if I did it every month than 3-month, which costs more. Like, yeah, man, that makes sense. I mean, what would stop you from just paying it all up front? We gave you a little bit of a discount and threw this in to help you out with the other thing you were talking about. Would you be down for that or no?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
Dude, don't make me twist your arm, man.
What's your refund policy?
If you're already trying to refund, it's not going to work. You haven't even bought from us yet. What are you doing?
Well, I want to make sure it works. The price is easy if it works.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Any relationship I've gone into, I'm already questioning it before it starts. It usually fails. Wouldn't you agree?
You got any testimonials?
Only a whole bunch.
You got any references?
Only a whole bunch. Is that what you want to see before you get started?
You know what my response to that always is?
What's that?
Well, we'd be dumb if we didn't.
Yeah, I like that one. So
not only that, it's like, dude, listen, I'm not going to give you phone numbers of people that we've pissed off in the past. Obviously, the only people I'm going to give you is the people that love us. So how good are testimonials?
That's the next step. So the first thing, whenever they ask for that, I would say that, and I would say, so let's do this. I'm going to connect you because I'm a man of my word, but I'm going to imagine so are you. So let's put the first month down. I'm going to introduce you to our best clients that are going to speak us up anyway, and let's welcome you to the family. You game?
Yep. Let's go. Let's
rock. Let's rock and roll.
Closed. So I like the process, but I'm thinking, because I always put myself in the customer's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how you do your business, how you just align that with mine and follow the same steps, but now how do you make it for Brad Lea?
The sales framework is going to be a checklist, right? Or an audit, if you will, of whatever you need your ideal client to look like.
You help me make that though?
We do. Yeah. You go through onboarding, we gather information we need. Same thing with your appointment setting scripts.
So you guys dial it in for me.
Correct. Yeah. Now it doesn't happen all immediately out of the gate. That's why we work with clients ongoing to keep tweaking it, but it more times than not will perform better than what's currently in place because we don't overcomplicate stuff. Like we're really simple and people see stuff we do and they're like what you said earlier, that seems too simple.
What kind of commission are you paying?
Call me up and we'll talk about it.
Well, because if I bring you 500 clients, I want to know what's in it for me. The old WIFM.
I think the real question you're asking me is if I could find you money that you didn't already have, you didn't have to spend any money to acquire it, would you do it?
Yeah.
Then it doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, it does. So I can start doing the math. Like you said, step one, identify my list. I can think about 500 people that need your services that are my clients.
That's true. And
now I need to do the list. And then you said, then do the math. Well, I'm trying to do the math. How much is each one worth?
So
it'll be like, damn, dude, I got 2.2 million sitting there.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised. People have a lot of money sitting there.
Well, and my clients need you, dude. Like we service people that are really up your alley. They're subject matter experts. I mean, we service multiple types. One of the types is we help subject matter experts develop interactive content with their intellectual property, their training, and then we put it in a world-class system that can deliver, track, measure, role play, build a little community, et cetera, et cetera. And then we show them how to go sell it to people and individuals, market it and sell it to people and businesses. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they're trying to sell it to individuals, which isn't the best. The best is if you can sell your content to businesses, because businesses pay for it every single month because they have turnover. Yes. It's new to them every month.
Yep.
Too many people are trying to going after the individual. The individuals cancel and they don't last forever because, I went through that course, I'm done. But a business is never done with your course if they're still in business, which if your course is any good, they will be.
Yes.
So we teach people how to do that. So I've got hundreds and hundreds of subject matter experts selling courses. Now, all their courses aren't always high ticket, but their courses lead to their high ticket.
Right.
So, and I help them make money whether I get a piece of it or not. But when I'm talking to them, I'm like, okay, so then what? And they're like, well, then, we want to sell them a $12,000 such and such. And I say, so how are you doing that? Well, it doesn't really convert. And I'm like, what? And they're like, they add. And I'm like, who's calling them? Nobody. I'm like, dude, you can't close $12,000 product over a video sales letter or an email automation sequence.
Yeah.
You can warm them up to get them interested. You can get them on the phone, but you have to have salespeople. They're like, oh, dude, I don't want to hire and manage anybody. And I'm thinking, dude, you really don't want to, if you don't want to manage a sales team, you need a company that's basically mercenaries. They'll just sell your shit for you.
Yep. And there's a reason this offer is called straight to close, is for that reason.
Yeah, because like if I'm running around the road, I'm an author, I'm an expert, I do keynote speeches. I don't want to manage 15 sales guys.
No.
Now, would I call you for that?
You would call
You'll manage them.
Correct.
You'll train them. You'll hire them. You'll develop them.
Correct.
And all I do is see the reports at the end of the day.
Exactly. We actually weekly. We meet with you weekly.
I generate you the leads to call.
They're already there. We are in your pipeline calling them for you. We have our own tracking sheets to cross-reference with yours, and our account manager meets with whoever runs that department every week. So this way we can make sure that the information's accurate.
Now, what if I'm a sales guy out there and I'm hearing this? You looking for any sales pros?
We are looking for sales pros.
So where should they hit you up?
Yep. Go to our website as well, thesalesagency.com. or go to my Instagram and DM me personally.
Just make sure you guys tell him came from the bomb squad, so he knows he had a little influence here on this podcast. Let's go over because it says you did some sales training, mindset training, sales training, leadership training, things like that. If I'm a salesperson out there, how do I sell more than I'm selling currently?
Damn, I love this question, man. And for everyone listening to this, you hear mindset and you're probably like, oh my God, mindset. I used to feel that way too. I'm a sales guy, built a sales company. I get it. So our guys, they're high performers. I'm going to give you real life examples. So we have an appointment setter. Before he became a sales manager, he started as an appointment setter. He got to the point where he was booking 200 sales calls a month, which if you're listening to this, that sounds unreal. It's really not. It's about time management and the script. So anyway, we're talking to this guy and every day he's committing 10 appointments a day because our guys work Monday through Friday. And I'm like, why do you keep committing to 10? He's like, cause dude, I'm going to hit 200 this month. And he's hyped, right? And I'm like, all right, great. Well, you committed 10 the last 2 days. So is it going to be 10 tomorrow? He's like, yeah, because I'm going to hit 200 because that's an industry high. 200 sales calls a month is a lot of appointments for an SDR, right? And I'm like, all right, cool, man. I got to know, is this as good as it gets? So that's a mental shifting question because now I gave him the empowerment to admit to me his existence stops today because now he has to say, yeah, I'm not going to get any better. Or he has to say, yeah, I can get better. And now he has to identify where. So I put him in a position and empower him to tell me he's not getting any better and I need to move on to the next person. So that's a mental shifting question, right? And the next thing is goal setting, right? This again might sound like, oh man, goal setting. But the problem with sales reps is they come in, they've never made 10 grand a month before in commissions. They come in, they make 10 grand a month in commissions. Now they're like, yeah, I'm rich. And the next month they have the worst month they've ever had because they didn't reset their goals. And now they feel like they made a lot of money and now they're in this lull because now they had a shitty month. So we make sure that we monitor that goal setting and we always reset it. We're like, how'd you come up with that number? This is one of my favorite questions. I don't care if you're buying a car, a house. Like I went in, I was looking at McLarens and the dude gave me a price on the McLaren. I knew it was a good price on the McLaren. And I was like, okay, cool, man. How'd you come up with that number? The number he gave me. He's like, he went into defending himself. He went and defended the number. He was explaining to me and selling himself to me why it was the best rate and why it was this and that. All I had to do was ask one question. So whenever somebody gives me a goal internally, it's just like a sales call when you're managing a sales team. And they're like, yeah, man, my goal is 10 grand this month, which is usually arbitrary, right? I'm like, all right, cool, man. Yo, I love it. How'd you come up with that? How'd you come up with that number? And now they have to like sit back and they think. I'm like, if I were to tell you that based on your current performance, you were capable of more of that, would you believe it? And they're like, I think I would. I'm like, well, look at your numbers. Would you believe it? Are you committed to that next step or no? So
you ever get people that just say, dude, I quit?
No. And here's why, because usually people leave teams for management and people don't leave or stay for money, especially A players. A players can make money anywhere, right? So they're looking to be challenged to be the next version of themselves. That's why we love working with A players, right?
Yeah, but dude, there's 3 things that attract A players, and one of them is money.
It is money, but they can make money anywhere.
Not necessarily, not with a shitty pay plan.
Yeah, there's a shitty pay plan. Actually, I've been there. I have been there, and I left companies for
Dude,
that.
I am an A player. Like when I sold, I was a freaking owner's dream. I was an owner's nightmare too.
Right.
Because usually the A players, they're
the divas, man.
That's right. And so was I. But I looked at 3 things. Okay. Number 1, compensation plan. Like I'm not going to come in there and give you 100% because that's all I do. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to nickel dick me, you know, like you're trying to keep it all for yourself. You're just looking for someone to, you know, make you a ton of money and not share the wealth. Not interested in your game. But if you're willing to pay me, so again, compensation was my number 1. I want to see what your compensation model looks like. And then number 2 is your organization. In other words, is everything chaotic? Are there processes and systems, or is this just a, you know, wild, wild west, do whatever the hell you can to make money? Because nobody likes that shit. We want order. We want order. And then the third one was culture. You know, what was the culture like? So to me, when I talk to people about, because a lot of people ask me, you know, number 1, how do I build and scale a sales team? And I don't do it for people, but I do know how to do it. I've done it. And number one, it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, compensation, organization, and culture. You have to have the right culture. You ever see, I call them stallions, A players. You ever see stallions running across the field in a plane, like in a kick-ass Ford commercial or something?
Yeah, I was going to say movies for,
Yeah, you ever see turkeys in between their feet?
No.
Ever?
I haven't looked closely enough,
That's
obviously.
because turkeys and stallions don't run together.
I see what you did there.
Pretty common sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a lot of these people, they've got turkeys and they're looking for stallions. And they're like, well, I keep losing my stallions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because you got turkeys, man. You got to get rid of your turkeys. But too many people are afraid to get rid of their turkeys. And that's how you attract stallions. The culture, the organization. You have to have stallions to run with other stallions. You cannot allow your turkeys to sit there. And most people are afraid to get rid of their turkeys because they can't find stallions, and they don't understand you can't find stallions because you got a bunch of turkeys.
Exactly. And I would
Give
even
myself a bomb on that bitch.
Yeah, I'm feeling the energy. So like the other thing that I would look at is, why are those guys even making it to the team in the first place? So usually this starts with HR or management. Turkeys. Why are turkeys even making it there?
Because other turkeys.
Because other turkeys. Exactly.
Turkeys like turkeys.
The turkeys love turkeys.
Hey, you're going to make me look good. Come on ahead.
Exactly. So like, you're right. So first of all, when we come into a team, we can identify that, yes, something should happen, whether it's a transition, offboard, whatever, right? But those people should never make it in to begin with. So that's the first thing you got to fix, and then it fixes itself moving forward because you're training leaders. So
you know what you do with the turkeys?
So
and then you know what your stallions do?
That's right.
They love it.
That's right.
And they stay.
Exactly.
And now you've got a culture.
Yep. And the next thing is one-on-ones with these stallions, man, because they don't want to do the same thing forever. Like, they want to be challenged to the next thing. So we're really big on weekly one-on-ones with the team, making sure we know where their headspace is at. Because external influence, they're not going to talk to you about everything. Something could be going on. And if you don't know that ahead of time, that's your fault.
Do you ever feel like maybe there's too much of that?
The one-on-ones?
Yeah, because like, dude, if I worked for you, if that's the culture, maybe I would get into it. But I've been to companies where they seem to have a kick-ass culture, but there's too much of that. You know, there's like, it's almost like, and I see how it probably could help and save people, but there might, in my mind, there might be a line where there's too much of that shit.
So I would agree with you. And I would also like to pinpoint one of the things you just said in there. Like, it might be too much for some people. Right. So this might be a little contradictory to some teams that maybe don't have as many sales reps that are listening to this right now. But when you have a bigger team, it's going to make more sense to in my opinion, right, to have one person that doesn't fit that culture and maybe 10 people that do, that vibe with it, because those 10 people should always outperform the one if you're only hiring B and A players. So unfortunately, that's one of the hits you take when you develop that type of culture, rather than just having, because I was a guy on a team that did not do these check-ins with their team, and we went crazy, man. We did whatever we wanted, and it was fun, don't get me wrong. But now we have a lot of structure around it, and everyone knows that we're here to feed each other. We got each other's back. We're all about family and unity being the top of our value list. And if you don't have each other's back, then dude, it's just not going to work.
Is that your Christian principles?
No.
You said your fellowship of Christian athletes.
Yeah, that was back in high school. Yeah.
What happened there?
I've always been big on leading teams. That was just another team that I led.
Why? Were you like a big faith-based guy?
I was, yeah. I
or still am.
I would say I'm definitely still, I definitely still am, not nearly to the extent that I was. I'm a big believer that the universe puts us through seasons, and that we have to understand how to embrace those seasons. So that's more so what I lean into now. That being said, I've always been big on helping people lead themselves to a better version of who they can be. And that was one of my vehicles at the time.
How important is discipline?
Incredibly. If you don't have discipline, it doesn't matter how talented you are. At any sign of adversity, you will fall. And the average person who can stay in the game longer than you will typically beat you out. So if you don't have discipline, then your talent will start to become irrelevant.
How would we teach and or help someone develop discipline?
Habits and behaviors. So it really starts with yourself.
Yeah, but if you have no discipline, you can't form the habits.
That's true. So what we like to do, everyone that comes in, we do this for on our team, is time blocking. That's the first thing we do when we onboard a new team member, is we like to set up their entire calendar to do the things that are going to help them with their headspace. That's reading every day. And I actually see a lot of your videos on this. If you're not consuming information every day, that's what's going to be what alters your mindset, gives you new perspective and gives you new points of views, right?
100%.
100%. So we like to do that too.
Dude, people don't understand the simplicity of that.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you want to change what you're getting, you have to change what you're doing. That makes sense to everybody. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so if you want to change what you're doing, you have to change your beliefs because you do what you do because of your belief system.
Yeah.
You believe whatever you believe for whatever reason, and that is what drives your choices, your emotions, your behavior, and your actions, your beliefs. Did you know that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yes.
so then the question is, how do we change our beliefs? And people are like, you know, and I've always asked people, and they come up with a million. None of them have ever said the right answer unless they follow me. At least the right answer as far as I'm concerned. Because again, I don't claim to know everything, but I know that this is a fact to me. The only way to change your belief in something is to receive new information.
Agreed. Yep.
Because if you got no new information, you won't change your belief.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like, well, that's simple. Okay, well then how come every day we're not seeking new information? What's new? You've never heard it before. Like open a book, listen to a podcast, you know, read, do something, and seek intentionally new information. That's what I say. Because every single day you get new information. And ironically, what it does is it makes you think. Now, sometimes you'll hear new information and oh, that's bullshit. Why are you saying it's bullshit? Because of your beliefs. So sometimes you're attached to that belief so strongly that the new information does not break the attachment. You believe this, period. Like if I just said, hey, dude, there's no such thing as Jesus. Your belief system in that might be so strong. Me saying new information, number one, that wouldn't be new. There's a lot of people that have said that, but
yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So there's two levels of it. One, seek new information, but if you really want to get deep, how do we break the attachments to our old beliefs?
Yep.
But anyway, that's getting deep.
Dude, I love it, man. Hopefully somebody takes something from that. The other side of it too, when we do this time blocking and we make sure education's like the forefront before their day, and we tell them if your day goes to shit, you've already moved the needle, right? Before the day even started, right? So it's still a win. I had a mentor that used to tell me like, there'd be some days where I wouldn't hit my units I wanted to hit. And he'd be like, but can you hang your hat on the day? And that changed my perspective on what a win is considered to be. It's not just the unit sold, but the movement that was created throughout the day.
Or the effort put behind it.
Exactly.
Because if you do your best and you come in short of a goal, you still did your best. So if your perspective is the win is doing my best, not necessarily my goal, you will protect your mindset, because there's, in my mind, conscious and subconscious, analytical, there's an analytical part of your brain or mind, but the subconscious is the scary one because it's below awareness, subconscious.
Yep.
Those thoughts and things that you hear get into that subconscious, and it'll start determining a lot of things in your life. So you can't say, look, I want to do $1 million this month and then come in at 900,000, because subconsciously, is that a win or a loss? Someone, oh no, that's a win. No, that's called rationalization. You lost.
Correct.
You either hit $1 million or you didn't.
Yes.
And what happens is we set these goals and we go through life and we miss a lot of them, and we're encouraged like, oh, still, that was good, man. Good job. Hey, next month, make it bigger. Well, the problem with that is we continually lose. And subconsciously, if you continually lose, your subconscious says you're a loser, and it starts to chip away at your self-esteem. So if you just lower your goals, no one teaches that except me, lower your goals so you win a lot. Well, subconsciously, if you win a lot, you're a winner, and then you start to be a little more confident. And again, it works for me, but there's another opportunity there, which is what you just pointed out. it doesn't have to be $1 million. It can be, did you put 100% in? Because you can always do your best.
Yeah, like
always. And that's a win. And if that's a win and you do your best all the time, every day you win. And when you win a lot, you're what? A winner.
Exactly.
And now you start to get confident as hell. And dude, confidence is what's missing in this world.
Yeah, big time, man. And like what you drive your confidence from matters too. Like as a sales rep, I remember, dude, I had dry spells, right? And we can all relate to that as a sales rep. Same thing with our sales team. So it's a matter of now, where can you drive the confidence you have a dry spell? That's why the pipeline management is so important, because if you can see deals advancing in the pipeline, you're drawing confidence from the advancement of what's about to come. So this way you don't feel that lull. The other thing is like detachment from the outcome. So this way you don't become the outcome. That's a big problem. Like you're talking about psychology a lot here, like that we run into that with sales reps that go all in. They take like 10 sales calls a day because they're trying to break a record, because our guys like to do that sometimes. And then they have no balance. I'm not saying like, foo, like we need balance and like whatever. But I am saying that if all you do is take sales calls from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep, you become sales. And then if you don't do well in sales, you as a person become bad, rather than you having a bad week and not being a bad person. So it's about detaching yourself from that. So this way you don't fall into this like depression. Because I remember being a sales rep, not knowing this, and I would have a bad week. I'm trying to break a record. This is back when I was selling gym memberships. There was a bar across the street. And like, if I had a bad day, I was at the bar like that night. And I was like, yo, what? The leads must suck. I must suck. Like, am I really good at this? Like, so that's all the thoughts that hit me, because I couldn't detach myself and realize I'm a person that's good at sales. The two are not combined. Like I had to shift my mindset. Just something to consider with like your sales team if they're taking a lot of calls. For people watching this.
Well, that's how you went from 6 figures to 7 figures to 8 figures.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's all mindset.
It's all mindset.
When I used to hear that, being younger, or I should say less experienced, because I don't think age matters. I think it's, what life's taught you. Generally people that are older have just had more experience. So they've learned more, Not always, but one of the things that life, I think, teaches people over time is what you just said. So at the end of the day, man, so going back, so what'd you used to sell? The vacuums, and then what else?
Vacuums, gym memberships, and then the Yellow Pages recruited us to start a digital marketing department. So we went in and sold digital marketing for a phone book company.
And when did you decide, dude, I want to make my own agency that does this for people or shows people how to do it?
Yeah, after going through all those different industries and achieving that top 1% so many years in a row in different industries, I realized towards the end of my Yellow Page career, when I was selling this digital marketing stuff, because they gave us territories, and I found out really quick that I could sell one thing to the same person. Like I sold to attorneys and trucking industries. I found out like I could speak the lingo the easiest. And I was like, yo, they keep buying from me. And I'm saying the same stuff. And I was like, what if I eliminate the meeting in person and the driving? I could have more appointments on my calendar. And that wasn't a thing. This is 2015 that this happened, 2015, 16. And I realized I could do this virtually. So I started getting people on a Zoom call, which wasn't a thing back then. And I started selling these deals at a shorter sales cycle, 5,000, 10,000 a month deals. And I realized I could do that over and over again. And I was like, yo, I could teach this stuff. This is easy. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. So then I realized, all right, let me see how I can do this thing. And just like anybody else, I typed in like how to make money online because I didn't know how to get started. And then I found out that I could just do exactly what I was doing at the Yellow Pages, but by myself. And that's when it just took off. And I realized our skill set was building sales teams. And that's what I thrive in. That's what I have so much passion around. Like you could probably hear it as we talk here. Like I love this topic, and we breathe this side of the business. That's when that switch was made.
It says here, team edition, mindset training when it comes to sales. This is my team giving me notes to talk about.
Yeah.
Team edition versus masterclass. What does that mean?
Master classes would be more of like smaller products that we sold. Team edition is us coming in, developing sales teams.
Oh, so that you'll do both.
Yeah.
Oh. and what living every day like an interview means.
Yeah, some of the best advice I ever got. When you show up, everybody says like play full out, but it's kind of hard to contextualize that because it looks different for everyone. But we all know that if you bomb an interview, you're screwed. You're not going to get the job. So if you focus on just living every day like an interview, then you're always going to show up at your best self. So you'll always get the job, right? Whatever that looks like to you in that moment.
Anthony Robbins says play full out a lot. You ever been to one of his events?
I have not, but I've definitely heard the name.
Tony Robbins?
Oh, Tony Robbins. Yeah.
Well, his name's Anthony, but yeah.
Oh, I know Tony. Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Robbins, bro.
Tony Robbins, yeah.
You ever been to a Tony Robbins event?
No, I have not. No.
Well, they always say play full out. Now, when you go there, they expect you to jump up and down and hug people and rub each other's shoulders when they tell you to and scream in each other's face when they tell you to and pretty much just drop your inhibitions and go all out or play full out or whatever you just said. That's what they say.
Okay.
And I went to him because we have him on LightSpeed and he wanted me to come like watch the live to figure out how to virtualize those. And dude, I don't do that shit. Okay. Call me weird. I don't know. Matter of fact, I told him, he was like, what do you think? I said, dude, I like it except all the touchy feely crap. And he goes, dude, one of these days we'll sit down and figure out why you're like that. And I'm like, dude, am I the only one like that? Like, dude, I don't need to be touching people to learn anything. I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
So every time I hear play full out, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you want me to basically act like a idiot, or not an idiot, but just not me, not me. Because I don't need enthusiasm and excitement to learn. I want to hear your information, and then I'm going to take it and make it mine anyway. In other words, I'm going to listen to what you're saying, and I'm going to filter it through my knowledge. And if it all sticks, great. But if some of it, like my belief systems are too strong in one particular area, I might reject it. But he wants you to get involved. Like, we were sitting there, and they said, okay, he goes, turn to the person to your right. So I'm looking, there's some dude sitting next to me. Don't even know the dude. And he says, okay, here's the exercise. I want one person, the person on the left, to basically speak loudly into the other person's face. And then the other person needs to respond, but louder. And then you respond even louder and vice versa until you get to the highest level. So basically I'm supposed to be like, hey, how you doing, buddy? And then you go, I'm doing great, even louder. And then I'm like, well, what about, and it's basically a screaming match.
Yeah. And see, as somebody that's
I don't want to play full out.
Yeah, as somebody that's never been there, I wouldn't even have known that. And what you just described there is like everyone's definition of full out could look differently, especially
I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah. And that's why I like to play every day like an interview, because when you show up to an interview, you're not yelling, you're not super close to somebody. The person you're interviewing with might be more like that, right? So it's different. So you just show up at your fullest, not necessarily all out.
I do like that a little bit. However, my twist would be just a little different. Why? Because, dude, usually people are on their best behavior during an interview.
I would agree with that.
And that gets you your job, but it doesn't keep you your job.
I would agree with that.
So, like, we need to figure out, or at least if I were going to give someone advice on how to live, it would be authentically.
I like that too.
So if you're a lazy son of a bitch, dude, say you're a lazy son of a bitch. You shouldn't be getting the job if they're not looking for a lazy son of a bitch. But if you're looking for long-term employment or long-term, a good fit, let's just say, and you walk into an interview and you're acting like you're, you hear those questions, tell me your biggest weakness. Oh, I'm just a little, too eager to please.
I work too hard.
Yeah, I work too hard. I'm too organized. I tend to follow up a little too much.
Yeah,
they're telling you what they think you want to hear rather than what they think. And I would tell people, live authentically. Not like you're in an interview, because to me that's not authentic. That's the best you can be. Now, if you can live the best you can be, I agree with that. What I don't agree, and by the way, I'm not saying you're saying be fake. I'm just saying when I hear.
No, I like this point of view, because other people probably hear that and have felt the same way, haven't voiced it to me.
Well, because again, when I hear, hey, like you're in an interview. Well, in an interview, you're not you. You're saying whatever you think you need to say to get the job. Well, to me, dude, that's not the best way to live. The best way to live that I found so far is authentically, regardless of what that looks like. Because, like, again, dude, if I'm a lazy guy and I don't want to be in meetings all day long, and you have meetings all day long, I should just straight up say, you know, I'm not real fond of meetings.
Yeah.
Even if I don't get the job. Why? Because it's not going to last if you're not fond of meetings and you're getting a job where the son bitch has a bunch of meetings.
Yeah.
Like, if you go outside my studio, you'll see a sign that says less meetings, more doing. Like, I don't believe in meetings. Now, I will have meetings. So when I say I don't believe in meetings, I don't believe in meetings just to have meetings. I've worked in companies where every day we had a sales meeting, and every day they had to think up what they wanted to talk about because, oh shit, another meeting. Well, they had a sales meeting because someone told them you should have a meeting every day. Dude, you should have a meeting when you need to have a meeting. And if that's every day, great. But if I need to have a meeting, it means I have something to say. Hey, everybody come in, gather around. So we call them huddles. So we'll have a huddle whenever we need one. But meetings, to me, they're dangerous. And I'll tell you why. You especially with sales teams, you can have the reverse effect in a meeting if you don't know how to put on a meeting.
Correct. You got to know how to put it on. Here's something else I'll add there too, because we're here in this like beautiful office space. It's hard. It's a little bit different atmosphere to do everything virtually. Since our whole team is virtual, we train so many virtual teams. The dynamic's a little different. Because I agree with you completely. When we were in an office space, dude, we had so many worthless meetings. So I love your mentality around that. If you're going to host a meeting, you got to know what you're doing. Whenever you host
That's the key.
I gotta know, yeah. And the other thing is, because we have had players come on and say that. So it's not like we'd never heard that. My response to them was, because, you know, everybody is virtual. I'm like, you don't have to show up. That's fine. Just know if you don't have the information we talk about, be prepared for the repercussion. Are you ready to commit to that?
Well, again, if there's something I'm missing, I should be on that meeting.
But I want them to tell me they now want to be there. So I'm always about phrasing my questions in a way that gets someone else to tell me they want it.
How'd you learn that?
I don't know. I've always sold that way. So I guess I recently started. I had old mentors that were in the game, like way before this new age of selling.
Well, selling vacuums back in the day was a good boot camp.
I loved it.
So was selling
I loved
cars.
it. Yeah, I loved that. I didn't do it long term, but I did do a President's Club in selling Kirby. I loved it. That was fun.
But you can get thick skin real quick.
You have to.
Thick skin's key.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
A lot of people are so worried about the no's, they don't ever get to the yes.
Yeah.
They let the no literally junk their minds to by the end of the day, they missed 3 yeses because they were so bummed over the no's.
Right.
Like, dude, who cares if it's a no? You're going to get them. So, like, you just look for them, realize you get paid for them, technically.
Yeah.
If I talk to 5 people, get 1 yes, I got paid for all 4 no's.
Mm-hmm.
You just take that yes and divide it by 5 because you got paid $100 for this, $100 for that, $100 for this, $100 for that, and $100 for yes. So now you look at it like that and you go, shit, I get $100 whether it's a yes or a no.
Yeah.
So
that's
now
good.
Now it doesn't affect you. It's like, no problem, bro. I'll see you soon. Because you know a yes is coming, which is going to, compensate you for the no's.
Dude, that's a really good way to look at that. Our team just says to gamify it. So that's what we like to do. We like to gamify the process in between to detach ourselves from the outcome. If you can crush the process, that's another thing one of my old mentors told me is fall in love with the process and the process will be good to you.
Dude, I told you an hour. It's been a little bit over, but let me ask you before I let you go.
Sure.
3 top sales books or any books that you believe everyone should read.
3 books in general. Huh. Well, if you're building team culture, I would say Work Rules. It's a book about Google building their culture. Great book. There's a book by Brennan Burchard, High Performance Habits. Love that book. In the terms of if you were to look at sales in general, I would definitely say Sleight of Mouth. I don't know how you pronounce that word. What a phenomenal book on NLP. So these are all different topics if I were to separate them. Another one, I know you only asked for 3, but this is a completely separate topic as well. But this would be from the holistic psychologist called Do the Work. The book is called Do the Work. This is a matter of like how to deal with traumas in your past. The reason I like this book is because it gives you a really deep understanding of psychology from a different angle of NLP. Because if this is why this also might sound like foo-foo, but the 5 love languages, I talked to my team about this and everyone's like, man, I feel like you really communicate well with everyone. And it's because I understand how people best receive information because I can see the characteristics of people's behaviors. And I know what their love languages are. So I know how to best project my message to them because they all receive it differently. Some people prefer quality time, physical touch, affirmations, gifts, all that. So if I know how they receive information the best, I'll resonate with them more than someone else.
That's high level shit right there.
I guess so. So we do have training on selling on personality traits and identifying people's behaviors and what trait they typically resonate with so you can change your message and the way you project it.
Do you drop any information on your social media?
We do. Yep. My Instagram, you guys can go follow that handle, RobbQuinn3, that you heard at the beginning of this podcast. We drop videos, damn near daily, and you see my stories, talk a lot about this stuff. YouTube, just my name, Robb Quinn. You can go on there, do a lot of videos on sales. I actually have probably 5 or 10 live sales calls of me streaming, closing 5-figure deals on a 1-call close. Those are pretty fun to watch.
Those are interesting.
Those are fun to watch. You can check those out.
Robb, 2 B's, Quinn, 2 N's, 3. Go hit him up. Tell him the Bomb Squad sent you. Robb, I appreciate you coming in, dude. I see big things for you, dude. I like your business model.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on, dude. This is great.
Here in a minute, we'll go try to close you on getting a LightSpeed system. Because, dude, I'm telling you, you got a lot. If your business blows up like it's been blowing up, you're going to need to train people in scale. You can also, use the system to market. So it's a pretty unique system. Can't believe you've never heard of it or seen it before.
Yeah, I already got you guys scheduled on an appointment with me and my team in like an hour.
Well, I want you to critique them.
I'm in. Let's go.
And then again, use that to close me on your services because I'm about to scale the shit out of it. My guys here, it's a country club, bro. Like I don't
country club. I like
it's
that.
a country club, dude. I don't how many did you call? I don't care. Whatever. Hey, we did this deal and that deal. I'm like, oh, good job. Whatever. Why? Well, because it's all word of mouth and it's, found business to me. We have clients that we can help them grow. So we grow. Mm-hmm. So I grow even with no new business. So like if nobody ever used LightSpeed again, I'd still grow and dominate. So that's
a sexy model.
It is a sexy model. So but now I've been re-inspired to dominate again. So again, I'm about to make it known that LightSpeed exists and dominate the world. And I need to grow and scale a sales team, and I don't have the time to do it because it's a full-time gig, man. It's effort. It's easier just to hire you or someone that knows what they're doing and say, get her done.
Yeah.
I can infuse my beliefs in there, a couple of meetings a month or something, but I don't need to be there 24/7.
Yeah. That's
another thing. People need to pay attention that's listening. If you set, I know you got a ton of value out of this where you can go, hey, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go do that. Folks, just remember, if you build a company where you work every day, all day, you didn't build a company. You built a job. A company allows you the freedom to do whatever else you want to do, even if it's build another company. But you have to have systems and processes in place, and systems and processes are usually managed and maintained by people. So you better be looking for people. And if you're wanting to be one of those people that do it all yourself, man, you're going to end up dying in a job. Even though you own it, even though you claim you're an entrepreneur, all you did was built yourself a nice cage. Think about that. Till next episode. Share this out. If it's not for you, it might be for someone that you shared it with. Again, if you can, dudes and ladies, go give me a rating so I can drive higher in the ratings. I'm in the top whatever, but the higher I go, the more people I can reach. The more people I reach, the more experts and people like Robb that want to get on the show, and I can bring that knowledge to you. Until next time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Brad Lea. Subscribe now.